Question 21. A workshop makes cupboards and tables using two artisans, A and B. Every cupboard made requires 3 days of work by artisan A and 2 days of work by artisan B. Every table made requires 2 days of work by artisan A and 2 days of work by artisan B. In 1 month, artisan A worked for less than 24 days, while artisan B worked for not more than 18 days. The workshop made X cupboards and Y tables in that month. Part A. Write all the inequalities which must be satisfied by X and Y. So the first inequality is that X, that is the number of cupboards made, must be greater than or equal to 0 because they cannot make negative number of cupboards, and Y must also be greater than or equal to 0. Then we have other two inequalities where we are told that artisan A worked for less than 24 days in that month. So if X is the number of cupboards which were made that month, then it means that artisan A took 3 multiplied by X days on the cupboards plus 2 multiplied by Y, where Y is the number of tables made that month. So we multiply by the number of days required to make one table, and this total should be less than 24. That is another inequality. Then we have for artisan B, who worked for not more than 18 days. So we take 2 multiplied by the number of tables made, X, plus 2 multiplied by Y should be less than or equal to 18 days. So this is the number of days artisan B worked, and all these are the inequalities which must be satisfied by X and Y in our case there. Part B, we are told represent the inequalities in A on the grid provided. So we are supposed to draw the inequalities and shade the unwanted part. And here we have our grid. The first one, which is the y-axis, we've said that it must be greater than or equal to 0. So we can start by shading this one. So this is the part which we do not require for the y-axis. Again, on the x-axis, we are told that it must be greater than or equal to 0. That is, x must be greater than or equal to 0. So we don't require the negative side of x and y. Now we have to plot these two inequalities, and the first one can be simplified as 3x plus 2y less than 24. This means that the 2 points we are going to plot is when x is 0, y will be 12, and when x is 6, when x is 8 to make it 24, then it means that the value of y will be 0. So we can plot these 2 points on our grid, that is x 0, y 12, x 0, y 12, and x8 when y is 0, this point. We join those 2 points using a straight line. You'll pick a point on either side of the line, and because the inequality which is used is less than, then it means that this line should be broken line. So let us make it broken first, and then we choose a point on either side and we substitute the values on the inequality to see if that side is the one which is required or not. So if we pick a point on this side, let's pick a point like 8, this point 8, and then we substitute on the inequality. Then it will become 3 multiplied by 8, which is 24, plus 2 multiplied by 8, which is 16, and of course that one will be greater than 24. So that means this side is the unwanted side, and therefore we have to shade it. So we shade this side. We also plot the other inequality where we have 2x plus 2y is less than or equal to 18, which can be simplified as by 2 by 2 by 2 to become x plus y is less than or equal to 9. So the 2 points we are supposed to plot, we have x is equal to 0 when y is 9, and x is equal to 9 when y is equal to 0. So we have 9 and 9 on the other side. Then we join these 2 points with a straight line. So that's where the line passes. Now we can pick a point on either side and see if we can get the wanted region. And if you pick a point, let's say 3, 3, and you substitute the value on the inequality, we have 3 plus 3, which is 6, and of course 6 is less than or equal to 9, so that is the wanted region, and therefore we will have to shade the other side of the line, and the line should be complete because the inequality as or equal to. So this is the region which is required. Part C, we are told the workshop makes a profit of 6,000 shillings on each cupboard and 4,000 shillings on each table. Find the number of cupboards and the number of tables that must be made for the maximum profit, and hence determine the maximum profit. So we have 6,000 multiplied by x, which is the number of 6,000 multiplied by x, which is the number of cupboards, plus 4,000 multiplied by y, which is the number of tables, is equal to p, and p is our maximum profit. This function here is called the objective function. We can simplify our objective function to be 6x plus 4y is equals to p, which can be further simplified to be 3x plus 4y is equals to p. For us to plot the objective function, this is how we plot it, that when y is equals to 0, x should be equal to 4. You interchange the coefficients. And when x is equals to 0, y should be equal to 3. You also interchange the coefficients. Now, you go and plot these 2 points, and then you join the points to make a line, which is the objective function. So we have y, which is 3 when x is 0, and x, which is 2 when y is 0. Yeah, when we divide this by 2, this one should be 2, and this one is 2. So now we join the 2 points to make our objective function. So that is our objective functions, and we are supposed to take a ruler to move the ruler to the point where we have our objective function, and then we drag our ruler to check a point where they will cross with the vertices of our region, and the line should be parallel to the objective function. So we make sure the ruler is placed along the objective function. Then you move it slowly, you slide the ruler to see where it first touches the vertices of our region. And that's the point. So we have the point here. Now we can move the ruler to see the point. And the point is 5 for y and 4 for x. Let's move our ruler again and see. If you repeat this process for several times, then you increase the accuracy. So we've said the ruler must be lying along the objective function, then you move it, you slide it as I am doing. Slide your ruler. And this is the first vertices where the ruler crosses with the inequalities. So we mark the point. And the point is at 5 4, that is 5 for X and 4 for Y. So that is the maximum point, or the maximum number of tables and cupboards which must be made for the company or the workshop to make the maximum profit. We are told also to determine the maximum profit, so we substitute those values in our objective function, which is 3x plus 2y to give us the maximum profit. So we've obtained our point as 5, 4. So this will be 3 multiplied by 5 plus 2 multiplied by 8, which is 15 plus 16. But we are supposed to substitute in our original objective function, where we have the profit made for each item. So we have 6,000 being made on X cupboards and 4,000 being made on Y tables. So the profit will be 6,000 multiplied by 5 plus 4,000 multiplied by 4, which is 30,000 plus 16,000, giving us 46,000 Kenyan shillings. So this is the maximum profit that a workshop could make in that month.